Hey, welcome back. Today we're talking about something you probably don't think about when you're in the grocery store: artificial intelligence. Specifically, how it's connected to all that food that, well, just goes to waste. It's a way bigger problem than you might realize, but the solution could be hiding inside an algorithm. Let's get into it.
Okay, just take a look at this. I know, it's a tough image to see, but it shows the hidden reality of our food system. We're talking mountains of perfectly good food just discarded. This is where our story begins, really understanding the massive scale of waste that's happening just behind the scenes at our local stores.
So let's lay out the problem. Because to really get why the solution is so cool, you first have to grasp how big this grocery waste problem is. And trust me, it's way more than just a few bruised apples.
Get ready for this number: over 30%. Think about that for a second. More than a third of all the fresh produce that gets delivered to a supermarket ends up as surplus. It never even gets sold. That is just a staggering amount of waste. And here's where it gets really interesting. You'd probably think it's all just food going bad, right? But look at this chart. Spoilage is actually number 3 on the list. The number 1 cause, by a long shot, is date label concerns. This isn't just expired food. It's often super cautious sell-by dates that make stores toss out perfectly good stuff. It's a whole messy mix of logistics, human error, and just how we perceive food freshness.
And this has two massive consequences, right? For the grocery stores, it's just money down the drain. They're paying for food they literally have to throw away. But for the planet, all that food rotting in landfills pumps out methane, which is a really potent greenhouse gas. So fixing this isn't just good for business, it's a huge deal for the environment.
Okay, but what if you could predict exactly what your customers were going to buy and when? This is where our hero, AI, steps onto the stage. Let's get into how this technology is becoming a super powerful new tool in the fight against food waste.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly: the old way versus the new way. For forever, really, ordering fresh food has been based on a store manager's gut feeling, their experience. But that leads to mistakes and usually ordering too much just in case. AI completely flips the script. It's all about the data. It learns every single day from what's actually selling, and it fine-tunes the orders to make sure things are fresh and, actually sell.
So how does this actually work? Well, AI forecasting isn't magic. It's just really smart math. The system basically chews through tons of old data, sales history, what the weather was like if there was a holiday, and it builds this incredibly accurate picture of what's going to happen next. Then it just automates the ordering. And just like that, human guesswork is out of the picture.
And this isn't some futuristic concept, it is happening right now. Companies like AFresh and Shelf Engine are the pioneers here. They built the tech and then went out and partnered with major retailers to prove that it actually works in the real world.
Which brings us to the proof, because, a cool idea is one thing, but results are what matter. So let's look at what happened when they tested this technology in over 1,300 stores. This is where it gets really good.
All right, first headline number, bam, almost 15%. That's the average drop in food waste per store just by switching to this AI system. In an industry with paper-thin profit margins, a number like that is an absolute game changer.
But it wasn't just about saving food. It was also about saving time. With ordering automated and less extra stuff to manage, labor efficiencies shot up by as much as 20%. This let employees get back to what they're supposed to be doing, helping customers. And here is the big environmental payoff. That reduction in waste added up. During the pilots, they avoided 26,700 tons of CO2 equivalent emissions. To put that into perspective for you, that's like taking over 5,800 cars off the road for a whole year. That is significant. And what's maybe most convincing is that this strategy is incredibly profitable. This is not a charity case. It's a huge business win. Sales actually went up because the right products were on the shelf at the right time. Margins expanded like crazy. And because the produce was fresher, customers were happier. The AI even helped stores adapt to those wild sales swings during the pandemic far better than any person could have. So if the technology is this good and the business case is this strong, you've got to ask, why isn't every single grocery store using this? Well, it turns out the biggest obstacles aren't technical at all. They're human. This quote from the report just nails it. The technology works, but it challenges decades of old habits and beliefs in the retail industry. The biggest barrier is getting people to change how they think about doing their jobs. Let's break these hurdles down. First, you have to get different departments, merchandising, finance, operations,
all on the same page. That's hard. Second, the AI needs good, clean data to learn from, and that can be a real mess. Third, it takes time for the algorithm to learn the quirks of seasonal items. And finally, maybe the biggest one of all, you have to overcome that deep-seated idea that shelves must always look completely full, even if that appearance of abundance is what causes the waste.
But despite those hurdles, the potential here is just undeniable. So for our final section, let's look forward to what a greener, smarter grocery aisle could mean for all of us.
A key takeaway here is that this isn't just about the produce department. The same AI-driven approach can be applied to any fresh department with high waste, like the bakery, the meat and seafood counters, and the prepared food section. The impact could be store-wide. This is the vision for the future. It's not an empty-looking store, but a perfectly optimized one. The shelves are stocked with fresh food that people actually want to buy, which leads to less waste, higher sales, and happier customers. It's about being smart, not just abundant. To sum it all up, AI isn't some magic bullet that's going to solve food waste entirely, but it's what the report calls low-hanging fruit. It is a proven, practical, and pretty easy-to-implement solution that offers a clear win for business and a clear win for the environment.
Which leaves us with one final big thought. The technology to dramatically cut down on one of our biggest sources of waste and climate emissions already exists. It's proven to be profitable. The solution is here. The only question left is, are grocery stores ready to change their mindset and use it?